Hey loves, my name is Taria. I am your self-love and intimacy coach, helping you find deepest love and safety inside of your body so you can cultivate your dream life in relationships by yourself so that you can actually feel good and confident for who you are without all of the blocks and all of the things telling you that you're not good enough and even more. And today I want to talk to you about the value and importance of tuning into the energy behind your actions and behind your words. Specifically, I see this happen more and more with like the really kind, loving, giving too much archetype person. And it's almost always coming from a space of wounding inside when you're doing an action. Let's say you want to do something nice for your partner, but you're actually secretly looking for validation inside that if I do this for them, maybe they'll love me even more, or maybe I'll get what I want. Or let's say you're, working way harder than everybody else and constantly wondering why you're the only one who cares, or you're not being validated or seen in the ways that you want, but your energy is coming from, I'm working so hard and overworking because I don't feel good enough and I feel like I have to do this to prove my worth in this world. And nothing about this is wrong, but what's going to happen when you come from these energies that to me feel lower vibe and coming from a space of core wounding is you're actually going to perpetuate that trauma, that wound, and that belief about yourself, instead of, if let's say you were to do the exact same thing, you're to do something really beautiful for your partner, but you were coming from a space of desire. You were coming from a place of, I want to do this because I care about them, because it feels really true, it feels really aligned and alive, but there's no attachment, there's no expectations. Then you're actually going to feed into the life that is aligned to just feeling good about how you interact with life, or having the relationship that feels healthy and integrated, versus if you don't do this, if you don't react a certain way, I'm going to be left feeling unloved. I'm going to be left feeling crappy about myself. And it takes away that pressure. So there's a lot more lightness that comes with that. And with lightness comes freedom. With lightness comes expansion and ability to align with the life that feels really good for you, because you're not going to be coming with all that fear, all that need for approval. And what happens as well when you come from that need for approval is the letdown is way harder. It's way bigger than if, let's say, something wasn't well received at work, or you weren't seen for all the work that you've been doing, but you know that you want to do it, you know that it's true to you. It's really not going to have a lot of weight on it when you're not being seen or validated by other people, because you're going to come from this just aligned with your desire. You're already feeling good. You already are doing what you want to do. And you have healthy boundaries inside that. If you really truly weren't being seen or met constantly over and over again, you might be like, okay, I want to reevaluate why and how much time and energy I'm putting into here. Versus if you're putting all of your weight to be loved, to be accepted, to be good enough in that scenario or in that person, the letdown when that doesn't happen is going to be so tremendous. It's going to be this hard crash, and is what I see happen when people are in this cycle of anxiety or fear or heaviness, and not able to connect with feeling good inside of themselves, or feeling safe, or feeling loved, is because they're in that cycle and they keep adding to that belief by coming from that energy. And the hardest part is really shifting that belief, because if you've been doing it for your entire life, then there's going to be a period where, when you're trying to shift that belief into what is more aligned for you, what feels better for you in your life, in your relationships, there's going to be a bit of period where you're not going to easily go over to the new belief. You're going to go back to like the old trauma response, and that is so okay. That is a part of the process. But what you will start to notice when you check in with your energy, ask yourself, okay, what is my intention behind what I'm saying, what I'm doing? Where is this coming from? Is it coming from desire, or is it coming from fear or trauma? And then you can evaluate, okay, I noticed that I'm coming from a little bit of a old trauma pattern here. Is that what I really want? Is that serving me right now? What would feel really good here? And you can ask that question in each moment and start to train your mind to work with you to create this new lifestyle and new pattern. So you ask yourself, what would feel really good here? And maybe the answer is, okay, I would really like to just take a breath, and I want to come from a space that feels really healthy and safe and aligned for me. And just feeling into, what does that look like for you in that moment? Maybe it means not taking action or saying anything, and just taking a second to go be with yourself, to go feel your heart and offer some nourishing, loving strokes to your body, or breathing into the areas that you can feel that tension connected with your trauma. And then when you start to get to know, okay, like, what do I really want? Your mind is going to begin to listen and to focus on, oh, okay, like, I hear that you want more of this now. Okay, I'm going to do my best to create scenarios for that. And your mind is going to begin to partner with your body, with your lifestyle, with your new desires, because you're training it to focus on this life that feels really nourishing to you. And you're becoming more of a co-creator instead of a sort of like, I want to say the word submissive, but no, that's not fully true. Like this bystander where you just sort of watch it happening, and you can see, or maybe you don't even see it happening because you're just so in it. It's just like you're coming from a space of clarity, coming from a space of understanding and listening, versus just being immersed in it and feeling like you're like circling around underwater and don't know which way is up and which way is down. That can feel really scary and really traumatic, and almost like this fear of death, as if you were actually drowning, metaphorically, in emotions, in thoughts, in beliefs, and confusion. You're coming from this space of desire and alignment with what does feel really good for you. You're going to start to notice, okay, like, I want to go and say this thing, or, I actually don't want to say anything right now. And this is going to create a life that feels aligned to you, where you feel safe. And essentially you're reparenting yourself from moving from the childhood beliefs and trauma and anything that you were taught that is perpetuating that cycle. You're going to reparent yourself and teach yourself how to live this life of thriving by asking this question and noticing in that moment, what is the energy that I'm coming from? So the two biggest points is to notice and start to practice asking yourself and tuning in, taking those moments to pause and be like, where is this energy coming from? Is this coming from desire, or is this coming from fear or trauma? And sometimes you may not notice in the moment, you may notice later, and there's nothing wrong with this. You're learning, so be gentle and compassionate and loving on yourself. If you notice that you did come from trauma, it's not a problem. You just get to celebrate yourself for now noticing, even if it's after the point. So step one, asking yourself, where's this energy coming from? And then step two, what would feel really good here? Maybe it's continuing doing what you're already doing, or giving yourself a celebration for doing it so well, or maybe it's shifting into a different vibration, a different emotion, a different belief, a different thought pattern. You can really be creative here with how you want to interact with your life, with your body, with your partner, with your intimacy when you ask that question. And sometimes, again, it might be just taking a moment to have a break and be with yourself, with your breath, self-soothing touch. I have this beautiful workshop on erotic nervous system regulation that teaches you ways that you can start to integrate this even deeper. You can find that on my website at tariaselixir.com. And yeah, just start to notice like how your life shifts and how you are a co-creator, that it's not a life sentence. Your trauma, your beliefs, they're not a life sentence. You do get to shift them. You do get to feel really good. You get to feel nourished. You don't have to burn out at work. You don't have to have a relationship that is constantly filled with difficulty. You can feel really secure and safe in who you are and take care of yourself first and foremost, so that you have the life that feels really good to you. I hope this served you today, and comment below what were your biggest takeaways, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions or want to work with me one-on-one, you can find me on my website, or you can follow me on Instagram. Lots of love.